Hi guys, thank you so much for hopping on. This is How to Meal Plan Like a Boss. So I am going to go over with you some simple steps on how to meal plan every week and how to make it work on your schedule. I want to share with you some tips that have worked for my family and for my clients and their families. And once you get the concept of meal planning and how to fit in your schedule, it's definitely easier to continue doing so week by week. So here are my tips. The first thing is to review your calendar, guys. And I have a few different calendars. I have my fitness calendar, I have my personal business calendar, and then I have our family calendar. So to look at all three and figure out, what are my busy nights? What are the nights where I don't want to spend a whole lot of time in the kitchen, where I maybe don't want to try a new recipe. I want something quick and something easy, something that even, my husband knows how to make, so he can step in if I'm running late or, if we're juggling a few different things that night, one of us can figure out easy dinner. So I take a look at my busy nights or nights with the kids and I try and figure out what meals work best for those nights. And those are usually our staple nights, like our tacos or our breakfast for dinner or our stir fry. Those are things that our whole family knows how to make. So those are things that I try to make on busy nights. You also want to take a look at events. So if you are going to an event during the day, you won't have to make lunch that day. You don't want to waste food. So I plan ahead and I literally take a sheet of paper. I don't know if you can see it, but I write out Monday through Friday, breakfast, 2 snacks, lunch and dinner, and I write it all out. If I have an event on Wednesday for lunch, I'm going to move that down to dinner, and then this will be for lunch. And you see what I'm saying? So I try not to waste food. I try not to waste money, and that requires a little bit of time beforehand and to taking a look at your calendar. So that's where I, take a look at my calendar for events or even date nights. My husband and I have a date night. We don't always go out to eat, but if we do, I want to plan ahead for that. The third thing you need to do when you're looking at your calendar is to figure out what nights you can double up on meals. So, for instance, tomorrow we're having the honey balsamic chicken from May's 5-day clean eating challenge. I'm going to double it so I can make it for my lunch and then his dinner on Tuesday. So those are things that you can do on nights where you'll be home for a while or you have that extended period of time where you can cook dinner. The next thing I want you to do once you're done looking at your calendar and you've figured out what meals you need to make for certain nights, I want you to look at your freezer and your pantry. Take a look at what you already have and what you can make meals out of. A lot of times what you already have, you can make a chili or a soup or a casserole of some sort, but it's just taking a look and getting a little creative. The next thing I use are my resources. So if you are part of my fitness community page, you have access to a ton of meal plans. I definitely take a look at those. I have printed all those out and put them in a binder so I'm able to look at them and figure out which meals I want to cook. I also have a Fixate cookbook, which is Fixate was created by Autumn Calabrese, which created the 21 Day Fix, and she has all 21 Day Fix approved recipes in that cookbook. So love using that. I also look at the Beachbody blog, Pinterest, clean eating magazines, anything like that. But I normally only pick 2 and stick with those. So while I'm planning, I begin with dinner. And if you followed me for any length of time, you already know this to be true. I start with dinner because a lot of times we have leftovers and I have that for my lunch the next day. Another reason I start with dinner is because I count my portions. So I follow a color-coded container system so I am able to see, what area of food I need to eat. For instance, if you're not familiar with the color-coded containers, the containers from the 21 Day Fix, you are given color-coded containers that pretty much tell you how much you should eat per day. And so I start with dinner and I figure out, how many proteins and how many carbs and how many vegetables and say that's 1 of each. Okay, well then I have 3 more proteins to fit in throughout the day. So I just reverse engineer, start with dinner and then follow up throughout the day. Sorry. But the most important thing is you have pencil and paper. So I'm a pen to paper girl, and then I normally take a picture of it and keep it with me just in case I need to run to the grocery store midweek. I know exactly what I need to get. But use pencil because something might change, right? What if on Tuesday I'm supposed to cook a teriyaki salmon with vegetables? Okay, well, what if I find out tomorrow that Chris wants to take me out to dinner? Erase. Move it to Wednesday, so I'm not wasting anything. And I'm also not getting frustrated and it's not looking super messy. So pencil and paper. Another thing you can do is try not to, when you're preparing your dinners, when you're planning ahead for your dinners, don't choose like 5 new recipes. That's extremely overwhelming. You're gonna spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and then come Friday night, you're gonna be like, I don't want to cook anything. I'm just gonna throw in a frozen pizza. Or come Saturday, afternoon, you're like, I'm not gonna cook tonight. I'm just gonna, we're just gonna go out to eat. So choose 1 to 2 new recipes per week, and then kind of spread them out and try and figure out which ones you would want to keep for your staple items. And then also plug in crock-pot meals, something that's easy. And like I said, I normally have like staple foods that my husband and I both know how to cook, which is convenient for nights that are crazy. But definitely keep that in mind for your family. I also replace 1 meal a day with Shakeology, and normally that is breakfast, but there are some nights where I'm getting home really late, or at least for now, I'm getting home really late since we live out in the country. So for instance, Friday night, I'm having Shakeology for dinner. And that just is what it is. And I'm planning ahead of time to know that that's going to happen. So I kind of already went over this, but plug in old standbys. So if your family loves breakfast for dinner like mine does, we make just like vegetable, egg scramblers and toast and some bacon. Super simple, and they love it. And you can also double up. And now for me, if that was going to be one that I plugged in during the week, I would add I'd make double the vegetables and use the vegetables for my lunch the following day. I'm making double for later on. So I kind of went over the portion control containers a little bit, but I've had a lot of questions on if you have a whole meal in front of you, how do you do the containers? So let's just do chicken tacos. I know we have chicken fajitas in the clean eating meal plan next week, so I'll start with that. So if you're eating a chicken taco, your 2 corn tortillas is going to count as 1 yellow. Okay, then you have your meat and maybe some Greek yogurt topped on. That is reds. So depending on how much chicken you have, that could count as 1 red or half red. And then same thing for the Greek yogurt. Then you also have some lettuce and some tomatoes, maybe some jalapenos, different kind of vegetables on there. You're going to count that as green. Now, if there's like a sprinkle of tomato, do not count it as 1 green. I wouldn't even count it at all as a green. And I would add another vegetable somewhere else. So that's a good way to try and break the meals down to try and figure out what exactly your portions are. Next, after I plug in all my dinners, I plug in my lunches. So there are some days where I'm able to double up. For example, on Monday, it's honey balsamic chicken with vegetables. I'm going to double that and have that for lunch the following day. But Tuesday night's teriyaki salmon. I'm not going to make more salmon and like heat up salmon at work. Like, that's just not me. So I am going to make salad the next day. So I plug in my leftovers. So like Tuesday I'm gonna have leftovers, and Thursday I might have leftovers. The thing is, on Wednesdays we have the kids, so it kind of just depends on how much they eat. So I put a question mark there, and I have something else to prepare if that doesn't work out. But then on Monday, like I'm not cooking anything tonight, so Monday I have to make my salad. So I'm having an avocado chicken salad. Now I plug in all my lunches, and then I go back to the bottom where I have my portions, and I figure out what I'm lacking, and I plug that in. And then for breakfast, I'm having Shakeology 90% of the time, and then my snacks will just supplement everything that I'm missing. So, let me just go over this with you really quick. On Monday, I'm having Shakeology. That's 1 red, 1 purple, 1 teaspoon, because I have Shakeology, 1 red, 1 purple, I have banana, and 1 teaspoon, I have peanut butter. Okay, and for my snack, I'm having a breakfast cookie, which is going to be a yellow and a purple again. For lunch, I'm having avocado chicken salad, which is probably be 2 green, a red, and a blue. For snack, I'm having carrots with hard-boiled eggs. That's a green and a red. And then for dinner, I'm having honey balsamic chicken with vegetables. That's a red and a green. So I've met all my reds. I've met all my greens. I have 1 yellow left over. And I have my blue because that's avocado. And yeah. So now I know I need to add any yellow if I want to. So I can have like a piece of toast with my Shakeology if I want. So it's kind of just reverse engineering all of that. So some of my favorite tips is to bake your protein ahead of time. I love baking my chicken on Sunday night and then just putting it in a glass closed-tight container and chopping it up or shredding it as I need throughout the week. Boiling all my eggs. I boil about 12 eggs and I have them throughout the week. I even peel them on Sunday because I hate peeling them at work. So I just peel them all. I put 2 in one Ziploc bag and then I have like 6 Ziploc bags in the fridge. I also rinse all of my vegetables. All my vegetables are rinsed and portioned out. I put fruit. I'm sorry. I rinse all my fruit. I portion them out with my purple fruit container and then I put them in Ziploc bags. I chop most of my veggies up to have throughout my dinner, throughout my snacks, and then I prep my salads. Here's the thing with my container glass jar salads, my mason jar salads. You have to put the wet stuff at the bottom. Okay, so like your dressing and your tomatoes go at the bottom and then it goes all the way to dry and your lettuce is the last thing on top. The trick is to put a little bit of paper towels on top and then close it tight. And it should keep for like 3 to 4 days. Make all your salad dressings and your dips ahead of time. And then I always like to slice like lemon wedges and cucumbers because those are really good in water. So those are my tips on cooking and my tips on meal prepping. Now next week we have our May's 5-Day Clean Eating Challenge. The meal plan is up. I've actually attached what you should prep ahead of time before the day even begins, so that's extremely helpful. And if you want to be included in that, please let me know. Thank you so much everyone for watching and I hope this was helpful. Bye guys.